Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, kick dick by here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast on the eve of the NFC East title, we hope. Joey Shakes, man, what's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling pretty good right now. We really have to get another thing done tomorrow. Winning, like you said, winning the NFC East. And then after that, we're going to coast and see where we're going to be at the seeding. And this is a big game tomorrow that the Eagles can't take their eye off the ball. So
Big Sunday tomorrow, man. A lot going on. A lot can happen. And a lot of things can change. So yeah, before we can enjoy Christmas and all that, we got to get through tomorrow. Devin, what's going on? MJ, Wanda, Big Mix, MJ, again, Brandon, thank you guys for being here. Winged Plate, Jolo, Pat Ryan, Twits, what's happening? Cujo, Logan, Pat, A. Washington, Ghostface Digital, Jerry Frey, Mark Holmes, not the real Mark Holmes, but fake ones, Zach, MJ Lips, House Cat, 125, what's happening? What's going on, everybody? And I guess we should start to say by, start to show off, but with like the little bit of news we did have today. And I guess this maybe kind of tells us what their plan is tomorrow. But the Eagles are elevating fullback Kerry Blazing Game for the game. Game for the game. You think he's going to be out there blocking for Saquon Barkley tomorrow, Joey?
I thought they elevated him last week, too. I thought they did last
week.
They might have.
They might have. I think they could do it 3 times. So they could have. But
no, I mean, you're looking for a big run game. Look, 19 carries for 65 last week. So you're looking for him to, when it comes down to the, the record and everything else, like I think you have to go guns blazing with the run game this week.
Blazing game. I love it. Joe Vegas, what is going on? Hill 500, go Birds for Rush for sure. Man, I'll tell you, this is a giant game. Because you win the division, you clinch. I think you essentially clinch the number 2 seed, and then it's a battle of can you get that number 1 seed? Now, there's some interesting games tomorrow. Now, I don't know what to make of the Detroit, Chicago. Chicago lets us down at every turn, but I think that Minnesota Seattle game is just not a no brainer for Minnesota. I don't think they're necessarily going to go into Seattle and just beat them. They could lose that game tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that'd be a tough game too. It's not even just about Detroit. Like we said, it's about Minnesota as well. So you're hoping that both these teams could stumble down the line. Could a team help us out? The Bears almost did last time and screwed up at the end. But hopefully, to get that number 1 seed, we need a couple things going our way. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah. We'll now, what did you think of Brian Robinson coming out this week and what he said? Did you think it was a big deal, not a big deal? What were your thoughts on it?
Look, if he says it I don't know if he said it on the radio or whatnot. That they're the better team, and maybe he thinks that maybe in his mind they are the better team. And obviously, when you face a team early in the season and then you face a team late in the season, has Washington gotten better? I don't know. They really haven't. Maybe they'll be more ready for us and prepared for us. But I think the Eagles are just flat out better. So I'm not taking that. I'm not going to take his words seriously, but I think the Eagles are just going to, put their heads down and focus, and that's all they're going to do. They're not going to take anything lightly. So
my thoughts are like, look, I think you play this game, you have to, on some level, have to think that your team's going into a game that you can win and that you're better. But saying it on the radio is stupid. Like that's just not going to help them. It's just not. But it is what it is. And yes, prayers to Tank Dell. Very serious injury today. He really messed up his knee. And we hope he's okay. It's brutal. Baltimore won tonight, which was they wind up blowing Pittsburgh out at the end of the day, even though it was pretty close for 3 quarters. And then Kansas City won again. So the NFC North, the AFC North really is like we should get the title for NFC East and AFC North since we beat everybody.
It's
you
true.
know, but that division's all of a sudden they're tied with the same record. So it's an interesting. There's going to be some really interesting games the last two. Like I'm really excited just at the NFL in general, like the last 2 weeks of how everything is going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, like the Eagles still have, they got to take care of business. And, I think, like I said, the AFC, NFC, I think it's going to be really interesting. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Brandon says, Joe 500, Joe, I hope we see you all in the Super Bowl. It would be a very interesting game. No doubt about it. I got to tell you, though, I mean, listen, if we play Baltimore, I think it'll be a great game. But I really want revenge on Patrick Mahomes. like I want to beat Mahomes, man. That would be great. But yeah, so the Eagles, they go into Washington tomorrow with the chance to clinch the division. And when you look at the Eagles, really their offense and you go up against that Commanders defense, like the one thing that you can do and teams have done pretty consistently this year on Washington, you can run the ball in Washington. You can run the ball on them. So this could be another Saquon Barkley big game.
Yeah, and you found out. Well, we found out. We already knew the team could do it, but as the passing game, how they did last week. I mean, I don't want this to be a 1-game stint just to prove to the media and prove to the fans that they could pass the football around. These long plays that take so much time to develop, and Hurts is holding on to the ball for so long. The short passing game, up tempo, that's what we really want to see. The running backs in the passing game, it'd be nice to see that every single week, but this should be a big run game. But if they have to pass, they should have no problem in this game either. So,
yeah. Bonzology says, up, fellas, Steelers stink. They do. Russell Wilson stunk it up in the fourth quarter. That's for sure. Odell boy, member for 5 months, got my merch. Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas to you both. Hey, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much, man. Free purchase. What the hell was I gonna say? Damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something. It was a good comment, but now I can't remember.
Brain fart.
I'm just a moron, huh?
Brain fart.
I'm just a moron. No, I don't know. I mean, I think you watch. It'll be like Barkley comes out. Barkley has 175 yards on 17 carries, and Hurts has only thrown the ball 19 times. And people are going to be complaining, why isn't he throwing the ball more? It's like, dude, your running back's averaging 8-something a carry. Keep running on the ball. See, I think this whole Jalen Hurts thing has gotten so ridiculous to the point where it's like I refuse to even like acknowledge it in some levels anymore, because the guy goes out and he throws, he has a great game. And you know what people say? Let's see him do it again. Well, you said he couldn't do it at all. But, when you have Saquon Barkley running the way he's running, why do you need to throw the ball 40 times a game? Can you tell me? I think the Eagles don't pass as much as they did a year ago because they don't have to, because they can run the ball. There's nothing wrong with that. But to me, Jalen Hurts is a winner, and Jalen Hurts, he's just not going to get the credit until he wins the Super Bowl. I'm just convinced.
I agree. If they pass too much, they need to run more. If they run too much, they need to pass more. If I could say if Saquon didn't have 1,000 yards yet, and we had a losing record right now, yeah, sure, there'd be a lot more problems that are really valuable to discuss. But I mean, you're never going to win. Until he wins that bowl, until he wins that Super Bowl. I mean, there's no respect out his name. So we know we have to win this. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he went out against Pittsburgh last week, and he threw all over them. I've seen enough. I'm convinced. But I don't want them to come out I don't want them to come out and say, all right, well, we got to establish the throw because we've got to prove everybody wrong. Just play your game.
No, 500
crap.
No, it's because he's only done it one time. It's like, Jalen Hurts had the nerve to say that at the post press conference after the game, and he's only done it one time though. I mean, you're really, it's just never ending, bro. It's just
he can have 12-2. It's crazy. We're talking about 12-2 team, and people keep bringing it up. It's crazy to me. Kenny says 500 Joey, 100% our defense heard what Brian Robinson said. Yeah, I'm sure the defense did. I definitely do. Let me ask you this question, jumping to the other side of the ball real quick, because I don't know your history, but like all the defenses that you have seen, like where do you remember like really like watching the Eagles, and like where do you kind of your memory of the Eagles and kind of their history, where do you remember watching, like in terms of the defenses? Is this one of the best defenses you've seen the Eagles ever have?
I mean, since early 2000s, 2002, 2003. I mean, yeah. I mean, because the Eagles have put so much into their defensive lines for the past few years, or a little bit more than that, and haven't really put too much of compensation into their secondary, and having a defensive coordinator that knows how to use linebackers, that knows how to use, that likes to produce young guys, and not going out and get old free agent corners, not, going out and wasting draft compensation on older guys just to rent out for the year. I mean, no, this is the more complete team that I've seen in a long time. You've been alive a lot longer and seen a lot more than I have in a lifetime of watching the Eagles. So you probably know more than I do. But what I could say is, like, you're going into the playoffs, okay, with a defense, an actual defense where you don't have to rely on the defensive line and pressure for everything, because the secondary can clean so much up. So I feel really good, man. I feel good. I mean, the offense just keeps doing what they're doing. The defense is just wreaking havoc. I mean, I feel good about the defensive line. You're gonna be getting some reinforcements back. We'll talk about that in the stream, and we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I think I think this team has a chance to be the most complete Eagles team I've ever seen, offensively, defensively, and special teams. Now, defensively, it's the best. This is the best defense from those Jim Johnson defenses, but that 91 defense is still on another level still.
Yeah.
But the thing is these guys are young. These guys are only going to get better. And you add a premier pass rusher to this defense, and you sign some guys and make sure people stay around. This could end up being one of the better defenses the NFL has seen in a long time. They have that kind of upside. But I know I saw WIP comparing them to the 91 Eagles defense. It's not even fair, dude. It's not fair.
Yeah. I think
it's not right to do.
And people have to realize too, like, even going to next year, like, if you want to get that premier guy, you could do that. But I think everyone has to realize too, like, we're not going to have much of a free agency. Like, there's not that many pieces that we need on both sides of the ball. Maybe depth, maybe whatever. Because your free agency is going to be re-signs. It's going to be Zach Bond. It's going to be Mekhi Becton, Isaiah Rodgers. We don't know. Josh Sweat. We don't know. Milton Williams. We don't know. I mean, Kenny G. We don't. I mean, not that they would do it, but just saying he's a free agent. So you never know who they're going to resign. So it's going to be mostly re-signs, locking guys up. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. The one position. I mean, I obviously I think everybody's going to agree a premier pass rusher on defense would be nice. I also think maybe you add another running back for the amount of times that you like to run the ball. You don't want Barkley taking 300 carries over a year. So getting another running back so you have a three-headed monster may not be a bad idea either.
Yeah.
Bonzology says best D since early 2000s, maybe best since the 90s. Yeah. I mean, those 2000 defenses were pretty good. I mean, we'll see, but definitely in terms of that defense playing with an offense as talented, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, and I think it starts with Jalen Carter, because I think without Carter, I don't think you're getting much out of the other guys, to be honest with you, because it really starts with him, and he's just been relentless on that line from first quarter to fourth quarter. Just I see, like, we saw like what he could do last year, but we see like it's a constant with him. Like, he doesn't run out of gas the entire game. The guy is always getting under everybody's skin. He's always playing at a high level. And I think it's motivating the other guys on that D line. That 3-man rotation on the edge has been pretty good after, losing Bryce Huff, losing Brandon Graham for the year. It's worked. So
Torterville says our D line is nowhere near the 91. No, nowhere near it. But like in terms of the whole defense, like I said, this is really the first year a lot of these guys have played together. So I see a bright future for this defense.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But they've got to get some pieces. They got to get some pieces to stay here, like Bond. You're going to have Dean's contract coming up, right? You're going to have to figure out what to do with Josh Sweat, like you said. I mean, I think in a lot of ways, Josh Sweat has earned the right to come back. I mean, he's played that good, but you have Nolan Smith out there. What do you do with Bryce Huff? Now, Bryce Huff is coming off of IR. Will he play tomorrow? And will he be effective? That's a question we don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
Chris says the 91 defense was definitely better, but might have a hard time adjusting to today's rules. I think early on, it would probably take them a while to not get like a lot of, they just took the quarterback's head off type penalties. But eventually they would adjust. I tell you this, that, with Reggie and Clyde, you had guys that both were capable of both those guys would have like 15, 18, 19, 20 sacks. You could literally, with the amount of times that teams pass nowadays compared to back then, both those guys might be getting 20 sacks because you're throwing twice as much nowadays than you did back then. So it would have been brutal. Faded 2 Gaming, member for 2 months. Says, yo, what's up, Philly? Joey, happy 2 months, man. Happy 2 months, man. Thank you for your support. Joey, Eagles need to walk into Washington Stadium, punch them in the mouth by scoring first and making a statement.
Yeah, no, they need to look, they did a great job. They scored 10, you scored 10 points, which was great. I mean, they do, a fast start would be great. And I think they just have to, we're going to see if they can still do that. I know they can do it, but will they do it? That's a different story. So I feel good about it, but
125 says you can say 91D, but when you take into account the O, this team is much better than the 91 team. Oh yeah. Well, there's no doubt about it because that offense on the 91 Eagles stunk. I mean, you had Randall was gone. It was bad. This is, like I said, I mean, I look at 2017, they were pretty good. I thought 2022 talent-wise was actually, I thought they were
better,
more talented. But this is more talented than that team. But because especially when you add the defense and Barkley, there ain't no quarterback going to go into the Super Bowl and throw for 500 yards against these guys. So, I think this is maybe the most complete team I've seen.
I agree. Agreed.
But they've got an opportunity. They've got to capitalize on it. So so Bryce Huff off of, I think he'll probably. I don't know. I think he's going to play, right? We think he's going to play.
I haven't. I missed news today, so I don't know.
How would you approach it though? Like, I don't want Huff to come back and then take snaps from Nolan Smith. I also don't want him to come back and take snaps from Jalix Hunt. I want them to continue to get snaps.
But that's the problem though. So, but Fangio's been good with, if you're playing well, you earn your snaps. If you're not, then your snaps are going to be a lot more less. So, you don't want to ruin, because the problem is he's getting paid a lot of money and you can't, like, that's, I don't think Fangio actually cares. And it just confuses me that, like, from the beginning of this Bryce Huff signing to the $17 million a year, and then going into camp, and then like being asked, is he a three down edge rusher? And he's like, he's not there yet. I mean, was this more of a Howie move? Was it we had Fangio during free agency. I don't like that signing. I think we have to put the money aside and just let him get his snaps slow, little by little, and kind of, he's been out for a while now. And I think we just need to see what he does. We could be cheering for him. All I want him to do is give me like 15 to 20% in a game. If he could do that in a rotation, forget the money, he's not Hassan Reddick. He's not anything special for this year. We just need him to produce in this rotation. That's all I'm asking for. That is it.
Yeah. So Huff is out, they said, based upon Friday injury report. I mean, that's fine. I have no problem with that, but he will be coming back probably the week. He'll probably be back for that next game. What is that? The next game, the Dallas game. So, we got to see. I mean, we definitely need the depth there. So, I mean, it's going to be important. But I want to see. I want to see Jalix Hunt continue to get snaps and continue to play. I don't want to take anything away from him based upon money. You know what I mean? That's my thought. Easy as his name says 500. Julian Edelman said, "I've never seen a team win on talent alone." He went on that our sideline issues would come back when we play a fundamentally sound team. What team is this guy seeing? I don't know. I mean, who are we going to play that's fundamentally sound? I don't understand these guys, dude. I don't get it. I don't get it. You just beat Baltimore. You just beat Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't know.
Who else you got to beat at this point? I mean, what? I mean, you got to go face the Bills. You got to go face KC in a rematch. I mean, that's.
I mean, you play KC. You know that game's coming down to the fourth quarter. They can barely beat. They barely beat everybody every week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah,
you know. A.Y. Rage says, Bro, Huff is absolutely a Howie move. Analytics showed by far led the league in pressure rate last season at over 30% of snaps. If he reaches that with us, it will be scary. Yeah, I definitely think it was a Howie move. But, I mean, hopefully he'll pan out. You don't know. I mean, guy gets a big contract. He comes in, first couple weeks, doesn't do anything. You know, is it become a mental issue for him? I actually thought he was playing better before he got hurt.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah. But, I mean, I love the way Nolan Smith has played. I think he's gotten better every week. And I think Jalix Hunt continues to get better with snaps. So we'll see how it goes.
Bro, I mean,
it doesn't seem to be affecting us going after the quarterback.
I mean, Nolan Smith faced Broderick Jones last week, okay, and he's only given up before going to that the Eagles-Steelers game. He only gave up like 3 pressures on the year, and that was probably his worst game he had issues against Carter. He had when they ran some stunts. He had issues against Nolan Smith on some pressures. I thought he did a really good job against a pretty good player going to that week last week. So
no, I hear you. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, what do you think get back to this game versus Washington? What are you most worried about? What scares you the most about Washington tomorrow?
I think like I know they don't have Eichler. I mean, they don't have Ertz. I think Ertz is out as well, so that's big. You know, I think creating those running lanes for Jaden Daniels defensively, you know, you want to, as a unit, I think their pass rush has been pretty good. They've been rushing really well together. So really it's those rushing lanes. And I'm not really, I think, you know, every other week I'm watching Washington, and Terry McLaurin is tearing it up like every single game. And I feel like the Eagles have his number at this point. He can't do anything against this defense. If there's, I'm not even being, I think they can flat out destroy this team tomorrow. And I don't normally say that. I think they will try. I think they will play tough, and it might be close. I could be wrong, but offensively, I think it's just self-inflicted wounds is what I'm really worried about. Other than that, I think they have I'm not really worried too much. I think maybe, if I could pick something, it's the short passing game. It's make things simple, make things quick. If the defense is playing off, dump it. You know what I mean? Make it simple. Don't hold on to the ball for 3-4 seconds and try to create a, you know, I know we haven't seen that big pass down. You know, we haven't seen them just launching it for no reason, just doing it to do it and make a point. So, you know, I feel really good going to this game. I feel very good.
So you feeling good tomorrow? I think we're going to win.
Fucking this guy. This fucking guy. Well.
Sorry. I got totally just knocked out.
You're fine.
The other day too. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I have to update my my Google Chrome or something. But that's like it happened the other day too. I don't know. But I was saying what I was saying was I felt like I feel like this is going to be a typical tough game first 3 quarters, and then I think the Eagles will blow it open the fourth quarter. For me, like McLaurin is always the guy that scares me. But Quinyon Mitchell did such a great job on him last game we played. But is McLaurin going to make extra effort to, you know what I mean, get back at him since that first matchup? That I don't know.
Yeah, playing twice, obviously, you know, you're playing your division two, you know, you're playing all the teams in division twice. So your second time around the team, they actually have a better look at you. They have more, you know, more on tape on you. So, I mean, yeah, they could be a little bit more prepared, but, you know.
Yeah. Bubba says, you know, they're going to do a lot to get Scary Terry involved into this game because of what happened. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, you know. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, that scares me about Washington, and then Daniels running the ball scares me. But the Eagles did such a great job against them last time. I mean, dude, the Washington almost lost to the Saints last week.
By a
Like,
point?
they almost lost to the Saints. They came with 2-point conversion, failed. They lose that game, and we're already division winners. So, to me, the Eagles are clearly the better team. They come in, they take care of business. They should win this game, and then we'll watch and see what happens the rest of the day.
Yeah, agreed.
They and Marshawn Lattimore on their defense is back now, or is finally playing. So
ooh.
I know AJ Brown tore him up. Devontae Smith has torn him up. Not really worried.
He couldn't catch Saquon. I mean, look, like, he got I know during that game against I think it was against the Saints, and it was like, they have it thrown to his side. It's like, yeah, well, that defensive line was getting in the backfield like pretty much the entire game against that backup quarterback that was starting his first ever start. I mean, that defense for the Saints played really good. They had 8 sacks. I thought they played really well, but that offense could not get anything going, like, at all.
Yeah.
Quarterback was horrible.
Yeah, agreed. Nathan says, how does Saquon do? I think Saquon's going to have a big game again. I think Saquon has another big game. I think it's another big fourth quarter. I really think they're going to wear this team out. Derrick Henry just had a huge game. It always seems like when Henry has a huge game, Barkley has a huge game as well. So we'll see. Buzzology says Jalen Carter's a linchpin of our whole defense. I agree. As we go as he goes, he must stay healthy and he must get rest before the playoffs. Need that bye. Yeah. Man, I'm glad you brought that up because I think that bye week is like super important for the Eagles. I think it would be huge. If they don't get it, I mean, this is going to be a team that has played a lot of games because their bye came. Remember how early their bye was? Like week 5 or something?
Week 5, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's an early bye week. The bye week is going to be huge for us. They've got to win tomorrow and put pressure on the Saints. The Vikings. I think the Vikings could lose tomorrow. Like, I literally think they could lose to Seattle in Seattle. And if they do that, we're halfway there.
Yeah, I agree. There you go.
500 got probed by drones. I ain't get probed by nothing. Going to be cold game. Cold game is going to be won in the trench. It always is. The trenches, turnovers. Those are always the things that matters in these NFC East games. These late NFC East games are usually come down to the fourth quarter and who makes a mistake late. And that's how it usually goes. Now, Washington usually does give us fits, but to me, maybe it's recent bias, but it always seems like Washington gives us a tougher time in Philly than they do in Washington. So,
yeah, it's been the case. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be all right. Just avoid the stands and falling fans because we can't have Jalen Hurts hurt. Like that like a few years ago.
They've been better. I mean, they've been great on the road. I mean, I honestly, even if they don't get the number 1 seed, like even if they have to go to someone else's house, you know what I mean? I mean, I feel good about it. I just hope
it works out that if we don't get the 1 seed, I hope it works out that we go into the last game of the year knowing already, have New Orleans, have Detroit and have Minnesota not lose any games before they play each other. So there's no way we can mathematically get the 1 seed and we can take that whole day or that whole week and use it as a rest week. You know what I mean? Because if we playing up until week 17 and we're trying to get that 1 seed because we have a chance, and then you don't get it, then nobody gets really any rest. And I think this team needs rest, man. I think that bye week is bigger for the Eagles than those other 2 teams. I really do.
Agreed. Yeah.
Joel, thank you for the super chat, my man. First super chat of the day. Thank you so much. Remember this name for the off season. Draft scouting process. Arizona State Arizona State running back Cam Scatbo. Okay. We will remember him. I will definitely remember
I'm yo, when it comes to draft names, I read shit real slowly now. Like I don't trust
I know.
nobody.
I think that one's okay.
It might be.
Philly also said 500. Where do we build the new stadium? What new stadium? The Eagles' new stadium? Build it right where the other one is. You know, are you talking about the Eagles stadium? Here's the thing. There's talk about the Eagles building a stadium. If they build a stadium and put a dome in there, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be really, really pissed off. I don't want no retractable roof. I don't want no indoor stadium. I think it's such a waste of advantage. But who knows? I don't know. They're years away from putting up a stadium now.
From what I read, I read that they would do a retractable roof just for not for football games, for other types of whether it's concerts or any type of other stuff they do. That's what I read, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I always complain. I look at it right now. I go, all right, let's say the Eagles get home field throughout the playoffs. Does Detroit really scare me coming to Philly? No. Does Minnesota really scare me coming to Philly? No. And both those teams may be better than Green Bay, but to me, Green Bay is more of a threat at that point because they play outdoors. I think playing indoors is such a disadvantage to teams. It's just too much to overcome. They better not do it, man. You know.
True.
It has to be a dome 500. It's 2024. Why don't we just have a little tea party too? And you know, we could replace the helmets with little little fun hats, and we could just dance and shake hands and hug. I mean, no, it's football. Football. Part of the game of football is the elements of the weather. That's part of the game. And if you take that away from the game, I think it hurts the game. I just think it takes away. Can you imagine in a world where you never saw Shady McCoy have that game in the snow? What is that? Everybody remembers that game as one of the great fun games to watch. The weather, the elements are part of football. You can't take that away.
No, you can't do that.
You know, guys, dome teams never won cold climates in NFC Championship games. 0-20.
Damn.
That is what it is. We are talking about 0-19 when we put the beat down on Minnesota. Agreed.
Damn.
Agreed. You know, like if they put a retractable roof up there and they go, oh, well, these are just for concerts. I guarantee you at some point during a playoff game when it's going to be rainy or whatever, rain and snow, they're going to put that damn roof up and it's going to ruin everything. I don't want a soft team. I don't want a soft. I consider dome teams soft. I just do. I feel like they're soft.
Yeah, well,
teams.
Yeah, I mean, you said the elements, but it's like strategy too. It's like strategy if maybe it's raining and it's too slippery or you can't throw the football. Or it's always more exciting to have a game like that of what makes it's adversity of how a team wins in a game like that. And I don't think they'll ever do that. I mean, Jeffrey Lurie knows he knows he'll piss the fan base off.
I hope he does.
I hope not.
I hope not. Otherwise, we're what are we? The Dallas Cowboys? Easy as his name. It's cold and football go together like Mark Holmes and a glizzy, right? That is true. 500. I love when the Commanders fans call Daniels one of them ones. They see a quarterback playing average and they think he's already elite. I like that they're all posting stuff this week about how one, they've got the best quarterback receiver duo in the league. I saw that.
Yep, I saw that.
And then they also posted that that McLaurin is going to be Quinyon Mitchell's daddy. It's like, well, what happened last game? How could you even say that?
Yeah, why are you beating on bad teams when you're not playing the Eagles? You lose against the Ravens, you lose against the Steelers, you can't beat the Eagles. You're beating on 3-4 win teams at this point. I mean,
yeah.
You haven't done anything.
J62 Moon David Super Chat goes, hot take NFC Championship games in Philly with us being the number 2 seed. Whoever gets the first seed loses one divisional round. Possibly. It's possible. Because the way being the 2 seed in some ways may actually it may actually be beneficial because to me, I don't know, and this is just me, but I think the Green Bay is more of a threat than Minnesota. I honestly feel that way, and the way it lines up, if all the top seeds win, well, if the top 2 seed, if the Eagles win, let's say round 1, and then Minnesota and Green Bay both beat Seattle and Tampa, which I think will happen, the Eagles would have to play as a 2 seed. They would play Minnesota. As a 1 seed, they would play Green Bay. I actually think Minnesota's easier road. So it may not turn. It may turn out, Jay, that you're right. It may work out that way. I really wonder about Detroit because I mean, dude, they're so beat up. They're so beat up defensively, dude. You know, and they have a great offense, but that offense is fast and it's explosive and it's playing indoors. What's that offense going to look like when they come in and it's 35 degrees outside?
Yeah, and you don't have David Montgomery at running back now. So now you have more. Now you're down, you're down to one back.
That changes everything. That weather in the Northeast, man, in playoffs, that changes. Like speed teams, like speed fast dome teams, they become very, very average and very normal in that cool weather.
I think you prepare your body differently when you're playing in a dome because you're not preparing it like in a cold weather. Like you make sure you're not getting cramps. You make sure a lot of things. You're doing different things sports science wise to keep your body like hydrated, but you're playing in these, cold weather games or, stuff like that. Right. So it's a whole different ball game. So
yeah. Fabio, thank you for the super chat. Eagles need Hard Knocks and HBO, Howie and Carson. I'm telling you, that would be great. I think that they're doing a Hard Knocks now where it's like the AFC North. It's pretty good. I'm actually enjoying it. Chris Scott, member for 38 months, says, what player from the 91 defense would you take to help this team win a Super Bowl this year? Reggie White is off limits. One player, Clyde Simmons.
It's all on you.
Clyde Simmons. Reggie goes, I still have Clyde Simmons. Clyde Simmons still going to get me 19 sacks. So Clyde will work just fine. Clyde Simmons would be perfect. And if you really want to put 2 monsters out there, go Jerome, and you have Jerome and Carter. That would be scary. But I would probably go if I can't choose Reggie, I would go Clyde because Clyde Simmons is going to get you, like I said, 17, 18 sacks. Anyways, Minnesota has the best wide receiver duo in the league, and Aaron Jones is no slouch. No, they're not, but
you want to see them against the Eagles. That's what you're like. I know
that quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know,
man. I
don't
trust that quarterback. It's going to be hard. And if you bring those guys in to the outdoors, I don't know. I think the Eagles will beat the shit out of Minnesota. I think it would be a blowout, to be honest with you.
Because any team that's been hyped up going against the Eagles in prior weeks before they face the Eagles, that's what's happened every time they face the Eagles, man. They get embarrassed. They don't live up to what they're supposed to be by the media before that game. And then,
dude, I think they're going to lose tomorrow to Seattle. So I just don't think I think they're beatable. Green Bay scares me way more than Minnesota coming into Philly. Now, if you have to play them in Minnesota, okay, maybe it's a little different. But if you get them in Philly, they don't scare me. But I'll tell you this, Detroit don't scare me either in Philly. That's why I think home field is so critical if the Eagles can get it. We've got Dom. We don't need a dome. Exactly.
We've got a Dom.
500. Why don't you love me no more? Iron Mike, this is the first time I've seen you in months. Joey, please send my wife back to Christmas Eve or by Christmas Eve. You can have her back after she cooks. Love you too, man. After she cooks. That's all she's good for, huh? Is that what you're saying? That's all your wife's good for? Don't let her hear this. Neil says Randall goes for 5,000 in the air and 100 on the ground with this squad. Randall would fit today's football really well. He would. Just saying we can't overlook. No, I'm not trying to overlook them, but I mean, I don't know. I just think the advantage for the Eagles is if you get Minnesota and Detroit at home outdoors, I think it's a big deal. And I think those teams do a disservice to themselves in terms of winning. Now, it may be nice for the fans who get to stay warm, but I think they do a disservice to themselves when they got to go play teams like Green Bay and Chicago who play outdoors.
Mhm.
I don't know why you would want to take that advantage. Minnesota's friggin' cold, dude. You
Oh,
know what kind of advantage that could be for them? I don't know. If I was a football player and you said to me, all right, you could go to this dome team and let's say they've won a bunch of Super Bowls, or you could go to Green Bay and play outdoors. And I couldn't do Philly or anything. I'm going outdoors at Green Bay in a minute.
Yeah.
Eddie, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Sam Darnold is Casey Keenum 2.0 going to playoffs. Reality will set in. I didn't think he looked that good at times last week. And I know they played Chicago, but I'm just like, when the game becomes like playoffs, and let's see what he does. Let's see what he does tomorrow versus Seattle. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's had a great year, and maybe he's changed his career around. But, I mean, it's the first year we've really seen anything from him. So let's see. Dre Diesel, thank you for super chat. He goes, Minnesota creamed our starting defense this preseason. Our starting defense didn't play.
They couldn't play. Yeah, I was about to say they didn't play anybody.
They didn't play.
They barely played anybody.
To play, you cannot.
You can't base anything off of preseason.
No, they didn't play.
Yeah.
Iron Mike, welcome to Digbat Nation, my man. Or is this you or me?
It's both of us. You actually,
okay.
Both appreciate it, man, so much.
Yeah, thank you, Iron Mike, and it's good to have you back, man. We win big in Minnesota. I agree. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I mean, if you remember that third preseason game, we streamed it. It was like we just got to get through this game. This is going to be the boring. The one thing about the Minnesota game, everybody wanted to watch. The only thing we cared about was Cooper DeJean play.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was the first time we saw him. Nobody else played. PK Bird game, David Super Chat. Detroit will lose before Minnesota game. I know. I think. I hope. I pray. Question is who beats them? I don't know what the weather is in Chicago. Chicago always chokes it away. But San Francisco, what San Francisco team will we get in 2 weeks? Because they got to go to San Francisco and play them. That may be the shot.
Maybe.
But I think Minnesota's going to lose tomorrow. And then I think Minnesota's going to beat Detroit, hopefully, last week of the year. Shiloh Murphy, thank you for super chat. You guys see Landon's pregame speech? Got me hyped. Yeah, I choose violence. Yeah, that's what he said. I choose violence.
Choking somebody.
Not in the dome violence, but outdoor cold, mother humping cold violence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of team. This team is so likable. They are. They play defense. They hit. They're physical. God, I love it. I love it.
Even the fight they had last week. I mean, that was a huge moment to see like where the team is at mentally. I mean, it's
right.
They're they what a difference from last year, man.
They choose violence. I love that. I choose violence. I'm with
yeah.
I choose violence. She tells me, no, go take out the trash. What? Brian Pumper. What is going on, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. Fellas, I need to see it again. This is a game for Jalen Hurts. He needs to step it up, drop his friggin' nuts, and let's see it again. All right. We will see it again.
Mm-hmm.
500 on me. I don't know what you're saying. I'm going to ignore that comment. I don't know what you mean. All right, Mike. Member for 13 months. Lori wants a Super Bowl in Philly. Retractable dome.
Why? Well, is it only because, like, if he wants that to happen because he wants a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, because it's going to make them money? I mean, it's going to make the city so much money, even if they're not playing in it.
You think they're going to put the Super Bowl with a retractable dome, and then they're going to play the NFC Championship game outside? It'll never happen. That's. But I'm
saying
a wussy team.
Yeah, but putting that in Philadelphia, even if the Eagles aren't playing, say they have they put a retractable roof and they put the Super Bowl is going to be in Philadelphia like in 6-7 years from now. Even if the Eagles aren't playing in it, like Lori could be thinking of it as a good for the city, and it's gonna boom. Money's gonna be made. So
J-Dog, I would ban you so fast if you weren't a mod. We might have to take that mod away. He keeps talking wacky stuff like that. Our Mike, member for 15 months. It was a selling point for 9% stake. Well, we're done then. That's it. What do we got? Like 2-3 years? I would probably take 5 years to build. We got about 5 years. And
wait, what? Wait, what? What are you talking about?
They want to put that he sold 8% of the team, right?
Okay.
So what they're saying is that part of the 8% of the team, the selling point was that the Eagles are going to build a new stadium with a retractable dome that will host the Super Bowl. And what I'm saying to you is, if they go the way of the dome, and as long as if you keep the dome off and play outside when it's when you should be playing outside,
right.
But if you start using it where NFC Championship game calling for snow, so we will be putting the roof on, then you're screwed. Yeah, you've become a wuss team, man. You'll become a wuss team. So we better win as many Super Bowls as we can now
before that happens. Yeah.
So we got like a 5-year window. I mean, it would take at least 5 years. I mean, they haven't even started building it, so it's so far away. I mean, it's got to be right. If they build that thing up quick, I'll be pissed. Lori sold 8% to put a roof on either a new stadium or the existing one. Horrible.
Well, a new stadium. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, where are they gonna? I mean, where the hell is that gonna be?
I don't like it. I don't like it. But we're still what? We're still. I mean, usually if you're going to build a stadium, you're talking about 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road, by 2030, something like that. That's probably what they'll say.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I don't like it though. I really don't like it.
No, I don't either.
Unless of course they only did it for a Super Bowl, but left it,
or other activities, or like that's the only way it makes sense for me. Yeah.
Move the team, Davies, to another state. I just think there's something about playing outside that's such an advantage, such a great part of football. Why take it away? Will Shipley's left nut. Thank you for the super chat. Eagles about to throw Washington into the corner. Booty rape them until they scream stop.
Jesus Christ.
What? Did you ever think this year you would talk to Will Shipley's left nut?
I wanna like click out of the stream and then go back into it and seeing like what the description what the description of YouTube makes the description of the stream, see what it says.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, you mean the
yeah.
Let me go here. Let me refresh. I'll read it. Viewers are arguing about the Eagles Stadium. Some viewers suggest building a new dome stadium, while others argue about left nuts.
Get the fuck out! Bullshit.
No, it didn't say that. It didn't say that. It didn't say that. Make the Sixers play outside. Maybe they'll win a playoff game.
Oh God, I haven't even attempted. I don't even know what's going on. I don't want to know what's going on.
Sixers, it's a whole nother thing. But I don't know. So, like, getting back to this game, Jaden Daniels. That's who we got to worry about, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I said I thought it would be like, and I do. I think it'll be close going into the fourth quarter. And when I say close, I'm talking like 21-17, 20-17, somewhere in that range. That's what I think. And then I think they're going to blow it open again. And I really think the Eagles are going to win like 31-17. I do.
Yeah, they should. They should. I'm hoping they can get Barkley going early. They didn't in the first half last time. In the second half, he really closed it out on a couple touchdowns. So
yeah. And that'll give you, like I said, that'll give you the division. That gives you the number 2 seed, and then it's like, all right, can you get that 1 seed? That's the whole thing. Let me ask you this. If you go into, let's say you don't need that game. Let's say you don't need the final game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be the 1 seed. And Barkley's 120 yards from the record. Do you play him? Do you go for it, or do you sit him?
I think that's up to Bar. I think that's going to. I think he'll let him play if he says yes. But if you're sitting wide receivers out, like what if you're sitting AJ Brown or Devontae Smith out for that game or something, like, and you're going to have less weapons for Barkley to break the record. That's a tough one for me. Like this, I don't know how important Nick thinks this is behind the scenes or Saquon does. Like this is big, man. I mean, that's huge. Pause.
Right.
It's tough. I don't know. What do you think? Because I honestly don't. I think that the record means nothing to me. It's great, but it's the most less important thing. And I think Barkley will sit himself out. I don't think.
I think you got. I think for the team, I think you got to try to sit him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you need a fresh Barkley going into the playoffs.
Yes.
So that would be my hope. What we have to hope for to get the record in that situation is that the Eagles have to win that final game to clinch a bye week. So you then would play Barkley because when you win, he would get the whole week off. Then it could work.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I think if it's that close, I just don't think you can do it. I think you got to rest him. But at the same time, I think you got to go to him too and talk to him about it, because if it's really important to him, like, I think maybe you give him a half if you have to. But, all right, let's see what you could do in a half. But I think Barkley, based upon what we've seen of Barkley and how he reacted, like when he could have broke the record against the Giants, he didn't care. He's like, let the other guys eat. I don't think he's that kind of guy. I think he's going to be team first. I do.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
But I do think that on some level you don't want him to play, but I think that the coach should go talk to him and see how he feels about it. I keep seeing Niners all day. Hey, Niners all day. Are you guys capable of beating Detroit in 2 weeks? That's what I want to know from you guys. Are you capable? Do you have guys out that will be come back? Like, are you capable of being Detroit in 2 weeks, or are you guys truly useless and a complete waste of a team in the NFL? That's what I want to know from you.
Yeah.
Neil says, I want to break it against the Giants. The look on Mara's face. I mean, could you imagine if he broke the all-time against the Giants?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you come back from that if you're the Giants? I really think this whole Barkley thing set the Giants back 5 years. Because if you look at the whole way that the whole thing happened, right? It's bad enough he goes to a rival, then he has an amazing year. But this was all documented with that Hard Knocks all season thing, where they were actually like telling people, like Frank Gore's talking to the GM, and the GM's like, yeah, Barkley's, he ain't that fast, and he ain't this. How do you come back from that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a story. Like that's gonna be one of like the biggest signings in Eagles history, like the story that will be in 20, 30 years down the road. And him breaking Eric Dickerson's record, if that's the case, getting into the playoffs, winning the Super Bowl on his birthday. I mean, that's just, immediate impact. I mean, we thought he was going to do well this year. I wasn't thinking over a 2,000-yard season, like straight off the bat. Probably not, but it's amazing, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah, I mean, we're talking NFL history here. Yeah. I don't like the Eagles, but Hurts grew up a few houses down from me. Hard to root against that kid. Oh, that's very cool, Chris Johnson. Why don't you like the Eagles, though? Are you a Cowboy fan or something? Hallmark Christmas movie, how Barkley got his groove back. I think I hope Barkley, I feel like he's going to have a big day tomorrow. Now, A.J. Brown is banged up. We should talk about this because Brown's banged up, and he said he's playing.
Yeah.
He's playing. So do you think? I mean, do you think that like? I mean, do you think these injuries are going to all catch up to us? Like, it seems like all these guys are banged up, and this time of year usually.
Yeah, of
But it
course.
just goes to show you how important that bye week is.
Yeah, I mean, look, Devontae Smith. This is the most we see Devontae Smith injured in a year. It's the hamstring. We won 2 games without him, or he was out, I think, 3 games this season, and then he had a little bit of a back issue. So guys are always dealing with things. They might, some things, small things might not be on the injury report for some of these guys, but everyone's dealing with something. So, I mean, you're going to run the football this week. Nick said the other day, like, do you think, like, I'm going to ask you, because do you think they're going to, Nick's going to run this team too hard at the end of the year, and because they still have to play and because they still have to keep winning to the last week, and hopefully it can end sooner than that, and if it doesn't, they still have to play. Do the Philadelphia Eagles have to, he says, I'm not going to moderate anybody's snaps. Like, we're going straight ahead.
I think you have to keep going. Like, I don't think
I get it.
Pull
no,
back.
You can't pull back.
I think you have to keep going.
You can't pull it out. Can't pull it out.
Once that number 1 seed either goes to one of those other 2 teams or you, that's it. Now let's say, like I said, the way it's set up is if Minnesota, Detroit win out the next 2 weeks and play each other, then only one of those teams, whoever wins that game, is the 1 seed. We can't win it. You rest guys at that point. But until then, I think you got to play, because I think the bye week for the Eagles is game changing, in my opinion. Not that we can't beat those teams. I think we can. But if you're going to tell me that I'm going to get a week of rest and they're going to have to come to Philly, I mean, I think that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, if half of the battle can be ended tomorrow with Minnesota, that'd be great. And maybe the Bears keep it close. I don't know. I mean, like, it's any given Sunday. We had a bad game against the Panthers. It happens. It can happen. And Detroit is due for a bad game with all these injuries accumulating, and they have to stay healthy too. They have to stay healthy. They have to play till the last. Unless the Eagles lose, they have to play, or Minnesota, they have to play until the last game of the season. So that's what it comes down to, man.
Winers are always capable of beating Goff. I hope you're right. J-Dog says 500 smirk takes me out. Keep talking. Looks like you left the tool in the garage, my friend. What happened? MJ, thank you for the super chat. Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, made $664 million from selling an 8% stake on the team. Not $664 million. I mean, what, that's not enough money. Let's put a dome on a stadium.
Yeah. Why not?
Thank you, MJ, for the super chat. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But it does sound like they're going to whatchamacallit. I knew 500 would miss it. Miss what? What did I miss? I missed whatever I missed. I must have really missed it, because I don't know what he's talking about. I timed him out for 5 minutes. I just couldn't resist. It's my fault. He'll be back. No, good. I'm glad you timed him out. That's why I took his mod away. I'm going to give it to him back now, but we'll see what he does with it. But he needed that. He's talking all sorts of nonsense today. So we'll see. We'll give it to him back, but he's going to be gone for 5 minutes. Take your medicine, J-Dog. Take that medicine. Let's see. Niners all day and day. Why is Niners all day and day talking crap? Can you explain this to me? Well, your team stinks. I think I'm still timed out on Twitch stream for no reason. Why were you timed out, Neil? You're not timed out at all. But why were you timed out? If you have to keep telling everyone how nice it is, I don't think it's nice. No rings in 30 years. This Niners dude got everybody in the chat going crazy. Timeout. You sit there and think about what you did. Yeah. That's why you don't see me never gave my wrench back. I never gave you a wrench back. I never took your wrench away.
What are you doing? What are you doing to these people?
I don't know. I never took his wrench away. I've reset my whole thing before, but I have had to do that. That wasn't. I had
Yeah.
no choice.
Yeah, if he resets mods, if he resets mods,
They
like
all
it's
go.
one button and they all go. It's not
Yeah.
he's
So if
picking
you don't come
specifically.
back and say, "Hey, I lost my wrench," I don't know. So if you disappear for 10 years, and then I have no idea you'd have had a wrench. I'll tell you what, Iron Mike, show up tomorrow and I'll give you it back. But I don't remember. I never took it from you per se. Niners. What do you think the final score of tomorrow's going to be?
I think we'll go 31-17.
What the hell does that mean? I get a new chin? What does that mean? I got a rotating chin? I don't know. Beetlejuice, I don't know what they're talking about. Go ahead, Joe. What were you saying now?
I said 34-20. That's what I said.
34-20. I'll take that's a beatdown. That's a beatdown.
Yeah, I think they will do it.
This team, when's the last time they've given up 20 points? Who did they give up? I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna look right now, actually.
I think it's been a long time. You think we break 40? I don't think we're going to break 40. I don't think teams break 40 this time of year outside in the Northeast. I know Carolina.
The Jags, the Jags game.
What was the Jags? Oh, they scored
28-23. Yeah, well, we let them back in that game. No, we let them back in that fucking game.
Yeah, we did. It's Jags game. That shouldn't even count. That we let them back in.
And obviously the Falcons game, it was 22-21. So
that Falcons game,
it's haunting us.
Game that haunts us.
Mm-hmm.
It may friggin' haunt us.
No.
Oh my gosh! If we win that game right now, we have the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But you wonder, do things happen and the rest of the season play out the same way?
That's what I've been telling everybody. Like, does that bye week? Does that all the fixes they made during that bye week? Does that happen? We'll never.
Right.
You never know.
So you have more fun making Train Day or American Gangster? Also, give me a wrench, bro. I'll babysit. All right, I'll give you one tomorrow. I'll give you and Iron Mike one tomorrow. I think American Gangster was funner. I enjoyed that much better. The last time we gave up 20 points was against the Bucks, the Rams, and the Jags game. They were gifted touchdowns. Yeah, well, the Buccaneers game was a beatdown. Like, we had the typical bad starts.
Oh, man.
Were punting. It was like 3 and out, and they were scoring touchdowns. It was like 21-0 by the end of the first quarter. You can't do that.
No.
Would be very interesting what Niners all day and day goes through his day. He's addicted to NFC East chats and spends multiple hours repeating the same thing. That's all right. I mean, look, he's got to be jealous. You got a team, the 49ers, that probably before he was born won all those Super Bowls. Then they become, somewhat decent. They're getting NFC championship games and Super Bowls, and all they do is lose. They can't win. They just keep choking and choking and choking. They're big-time chokers, too. No doubt about it. The 49ers have turned to chokers. Everyone's red. Lucius, you funny. RD is totally different than week 2. It is. Faithful lost faith. Still, twits calling bro hot. Where's the kid? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the chat tonight, Joey. I think everybody's just ready for the holidays. Hello, gentlemen. The Commanders fans are putting a lot of their secondary stopping our wideouts, especially with Lattimore. Yeah, well, go ahead. I mean,
to find out.
If you're going to go do that, then what are they? They're going to get in trouble because really, Washington's pass defense is not bad, but they give up a lot of yards against the run. They give up a lot of yards against the run. I think they're going. I think tomorrow's I think tomorrow's a Barkley day.
Yeah, I think they're out Jeremy Chin too. I think Chin is out too tomorrow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ravonda says, born and raised in Philly, live in the DMV, and I have to hear all the crap down here. Let's go Eagles. Yeah, that's not easy. You're behind enemy lines, no doubt about it. Lattimore squeals like a kick dog when Saquon comes his way. Listen, we've had our way with Lattimore. Brown has. Devontae Smith has. I do not worry about him at all.
No.
Barkley 300 yards tomorrow. I don't know. I think he goes over 120. I'll say that. 150. I think he'll do 120 at least. But we'll see. Barkley gets 215. That he's breaking that record. If he pulls that, he's breaking his record. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to average what technically like 130 to 140 or something in that number there.
Right now?
Yeah, I forgot what the average is that he needs because he only had 65 last week.
Let me see what the projections are.
Someone said 149.
I think it's about 150.
Yeah, it's 150, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about 150. But let me see. He's got 1,688 yards. He's projected for 2,050. So yeah, he needs about 150 yards.
What is it? 2107? What's the what's the record? 21.
It's like 2105, 2107, something like that. It's 2100. It's 2100 and something. I don't remember exact what it was, but he's going to need about 150 yards.
Yeah.
2105. Yeah. So he's projected right now for 2,050 yards. So he still could do it. You go out and have another. He's capable playing the last few teams. It's very capable of happening. It is. I just hope my hope is that going into that Giants game, we have a chance for the number 1 seed, and he's somewhere under 200 yards from breaking the record versus the Giants. I think you got to let the guy go for it then. Got to go.
Might be. Yeah.
A Warrior Rage, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, now that it's time to pay Brock Montana, his last name is Purdy again for Niner fans. Clowns. McKinney was also a Giant and now leads the league.
Yeah, he's been very good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
The Eagles tried going after him. They tried getting him too in free agency. Remember how close that was?
Yeah, they almost got him. If they would have got him, we wouldn't have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And I'm gonna tell you, I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been. Really good. I think people, he hasn't had the interceptions, but I think he's been a big factor on this team, man. I don't think he started the season good, but I think he's played really well down the stretch.
I agree.
And I think that he will make some big sort of play defensively at some point during these playoffs. So we'll see. But I don't know, man. Is there anything else, man, that you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I want to close
Warrior
this up.
Rage, thank you for that super chat, by the way.
Yeah, I want to close this up tomorrow. Close this division up tomorrow, and then we're gonna surf the rest of the day tomorrow after 4:00 for whatever game's over, and see what happens the rest of the day. It's gonna be exciting.
It's an interesting day tomorrow because I think for the first time in a couple weeks, I feel like there's actually games that Detroit and Minnesota could actually, or maybe not. I don't know, maybe not Detroit, but at least Minnesota could lose. And we saw that last week with Detroit, but now Minnesota's got it. I think that's a tough game. I mean, Seattle, they need to win, so we'll see. We'll see. Oh, hold on. Okay, we got some super chats here. Eagles Talk, baby. Thank you for the super chat. A source from the link today told me Joey is banned from the stadium for being too flirty with the players' wives and girlfriends. So the players asked Lori to remove Joey. Joey, man.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Right.
What are you doing, man?
That's why I'm home every week.
That's why Joey's not going to the game. Michael, thank you for super chat. Would like to see Saquon get the record as many games as ED, not one more. As needed, not one more. Yeah. I don't want to see him do it if it's not natural. Like I don't want to keep him in when he shouldn't be in just to get him to do it and risk injury. But if it's natural where you have to get that 1 seed and he's still playing, I think that's okay. From what I heard, Gino was supposed to play this game. He was going to play. So we'll see if that actually pans out. But from what last I saw, it looked like there was a good chance he was going to play. So we'll see. Yeah, Ricky Henderson died. So rest in peace, him. I remember seeing him at the vet when his team came to play the Phillies. So yeah, rest in peace. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. Now, I should tell people tomorrow. We got a trip. I'm doing a triple header. So I'm doing the Eagles game, then I'm doing the Minnesota game. Between the Minnesota game and the Sunday night game, which is the Cowboys, me and Joey will jump on and we'll do our post-game show before the Sunday night game. That way it's not so late. Guys, look for that tomorrow, and should be an interesting day, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to win tomorrow and close that up, close the division up tomorrow. That's the goal. That is the goal.
Yep. And Chris Scott, Merry Christmas, my man.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And if we don't see you guys tomorrow, we're not going to see you guys. I know a lot of people are traveling and stuff like that. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you guys out there.
100%.
With that, we out of here, guys. So thank you so much. We will see you next time. And peace. We out.
Peace.
No. Yeah, dude.
We get a weapon! Oh shit! This is the greatest night of my life!